Sorry if you're first on the other stream. I don't give a shit. You're first on the wrong stream. You're bad, not mine. Okay? Get your shit figured out next time. I don't care if you were there. I don't care if you were there. Don't tell me, because I'm not giving a shit right now about you. Okay? So fuck off.
And are you proud
doing
that
this for
we
me,
are
not
the
you.
free state
That's how I'm
of
doing
Florida?
the rest of these fucking streams.
It's so great to be back. This is such a wonderful convention. I agree. I don't think anybody does it better anywhere in the country. And part of it is because the state of Florida has really embraced the importance of education and the fundamental role that parents play in the education of their own children. And we can sit here and we'll talk about a lot of those issues that go into that.
I'm not saying good morning to anybody this morning. Fuck off, go away. This is my stream.
Irrefutable results that our approach works. Florida was just ranked #1 in education by U.S. News and World Report when the nation's report card reported the first post-COVID test scores. The only thing all 50
I don't care about
states
how you're doing. I don't care if you know about how I'm doing. Just watch.
In 4th grade reading and 4th grade math.
Anymore, dude.
We rank #1 in education freedom. We rank #1 in parental involvement in education. And we rank #1 in higher education affordability. No tuition increases at our state universities in a decade, and we're going to keep it that way. And part of the reason we were able to do that is because while we embrace homeschool parents and provide more support than any state, we also understand that's not something every parent can do. And when it came time to make decisions during COVID, we had to make decisions about, do you follow the crowd? Do you abdicate your office to somebody like Dr. Fauci? Or do you stand up to do what's right and make sure kids could be in school? And we made sure, using our authority, that every school district, starting in the summer of 2020, every school had to be open for in-person instruction. And so parents in this state had the ability to send their kid to school in person. We knew it was the right thing to do. Yeah, the media was lying about it. The left was lying about it. Even some Republicans were very weak on it, but we did the right thing. And now nobody wants to admit that they wanted to lock kids out of school for a year and a half, because you've seen the results. From 2020 to 2022, people have just totally vanished from some of these urban school districts across the country. Chicago, 25,000 fewer students than in 2020. Los Angeles, 43,000 fewer students than in 2020. New York, 50,000 fewer students than in 2020. In Florida, our school enrollment is up and our homeschool numbers are up. But you think of a place like Chicago, these kids, you're more likely to get shot than you are to get a world-class education in some of these places. What they are doing has been totally destructive. And I think back to COVID, when a lot of these school unions were doing everything they could to keep the kids locked out of school. They were trying to say it was too dangerous. And yet, in May, this is 3 years ago, late May of 2020, they started to do George Floyd protest. BLM riots came out of that. And people were saying, well, wait a minute, if you can't do school because of COVID, if you're saying people got to stay in their homes because of COVID, how is it okay to have thousands of people crowded together to do these protests? And many of them became riots. And you had health bureaucrats said, well, you shouldn't have kids in school, you shouldn't have
thanks for being
economy open,
first and second,
but you
over on the other
absolutely
stream.
should be
I
out protesting regardless of COVID. And that's when you knew this was all a total fraud. They were using political ideology, and they were trying to control your behavior. They wanted to lock the kids out of school, not because it was too dangerous to have the kids in school, because they didn't want to have kids in school. And so we showed, and we really blew up that entire narrative in the state of Florida by standing against it. Obviously, when you saw the rioting going on in
fucking left
Minneapolis,
already?
I didn't just sit there and do nothing. I called out our National Guard. We were not going to let Florida cities burn down, and that did not happen here, and it will never happen here. And so we have to be honest about the destruction that we have seen throughout our country over the last 3 years, particularly in these urban areas that turn their back on our school children and put the interests of school unions ahead of the interest of parents and students. And education's an important issue. As a governor, I know how important it is for the state, but I also look at it through the lens of being a father of a 6, a 5, and a 3-year-old. And my wife and I, we really believe in our bones in the rights of parents to direct the education and upbringing of their kids. We were one of the first states in the country to sign into law a parental bill of rights.
I appreciate you, Taylor.
And part of parents' rights means you have a right as a parent to curriculum transparency. You have a right to know what is being taught in your kid's school, and if there are materials that are inappropriate because of age or they violate Florida standards, you have the right to blow the whistle on that. Now, we've had empowered parents to do that. Parents have been doing that, and most school districts have been fine, but there have been some that have done some really questionable things. So the parents will blow the whistle if they see something like pornographic books in a middle school library. Of course that is not appropriate, and so they will do that, and that book should not be there. The media, they try to say that this is, quote, banning books. But what you have in a school, you have to make judgments about what's appropriate or not. Doesn't mean you as adults can't buy these books. Some of them I don't know why you'd buy, but they're available in Florida. You go ahead and knock yourself out if you want to do that. But that's much different than what should be in front of a 10-year-old school child. And so the media, when they talk about book ban, understand that is a hoax. They are creating a false narrative. We actually did a press conference that we titled Exposing the Book Ban Hoax. And before I had any of the parents talk, before I even talked, we played a short video that just showed what it was the parents were objecting to. Had some graphic images, had some very graphic language, and the news stations who were covering that press conference had to cut their feed because they said it was too graphic. Well, if it's too graphic for the 6 o'clock news, how is it okay for a 10-year-old school child?
Did it freeze for anybody else?
And the latest thing they're trying to do is down in Miami-Dade, you have legacy media outlets creating this poem hoax. And so what this is some book of poems. I never heard of it. I had nothing to do with any of this, but it was a book of poems that was in an elementary school library, and the school or the school district determined that was more appropriate to be in the middle school library. So they moved it from the elementary school library to the middle school library. Legacy media outlets are saying that Miami-Dade is banning books. Literally just moving it from one part of the school to the next is now considered a book ban. So you know when they're doing that, and even the school district had to come out and say that's ridiculous. You know, we made the decision. We think it's better to be in middle school. But when they're doing that, you know these legacy media outlets are lying to you. They are trying to create a...
Here's why I think it's crazy, dude. I remember when I was in elementary school, I specifically remember we would be in the library looking up words in the dictionary. There was this ginormous dictionary. It was fucking like this big, dude. It was crazy. And we were looking up like foul language words, and we were like, ooh, you know? So I can't even imagine if we had books on beating off back then. You know what I mean? We'd be like, like what? Why like add that in there with it? They already got the dictionary, man. Right? I mean, we didn't have the internet the same that the kids do now, though. So,
political.
I guess they figure, well, they can look at it on the internet. The parents give them a smartphone, might as well give them a book so that they know what they're looking at on the internet. I think that's some people's mindset. Like they can see it anyway on the internet, so why not give them a reference to understand it more in the library? And that's another topic, though.
Narrative that is totally divorced from the facts. And if they're going to do something like this ridiculous poem hoax and actually put that out there and think that you're going to believe it, honestly, that just shows you they're insulting your intelligence. In our country, a republic requires citizens to be engaged. And if you are a citizen who's accepting legacy media outlets uncritically, their narratives uncritically, without using your own independent judgment, you are failing at your duty.
This
of
dude's
being
probably
a
going to be
conscientious
president,
citizen.
man.
Do not
just being real
buy
with it.
what they're trying to
Trump
feed
isn't
you.
a good enough speaker, dude. He doesn't get the
But
educated
I think to
vote.
myself, why would it even be an issue that we would even be talking about having something in front of an 11-year-old where you have very explicit pornographic images in school?
I think he's going to win.
That would have never happened when I was growing up or any of
Over
you were
Trump.
growing up. And so you have it, and then we want parents to be armed with the ability to make sure their kids in a safe environment.
Trump sounds like a buffoon when he speaks. He's good at making friends. He's read the art of making friends and influencing people 100 times probably. He's damn good at making friends, flattering people, making them feel good about themselves. Even if he doesn't know shit about them, he can make you feel good about yourself, dude. That's a salesman. He's a good salesman. But as far as like actually speaking and getting his point across, he's horrible at it, dude. He's so bad at it. And he repeats the same like low IQ statements over and over. That's not going to win a presidency for me. I wouldn't vote for that again. I don't care how much good stuff he's talking about, he's going to change, he's going to do. This guy's saying the same shit pretty much, and he can speak well. That's a big difference, dude.
And yet you have the narrative and you have the left trying to jam this in. Make no mistake,
he's going to get the
parents involved.
Dude, he'll get the hillbilly vote, but which is there more of in America? Hillbillies or educated people? That's the question. Man. I don't even know how the fuck he won it the first time with his uneducated ass. He sounds like an idiot when he talks. Okay.
In education. They don't want the parents involved in education.
I know I'm pissing some people off with that.
To their ideological agenda.
Trumper.
They view you as an impediment to their ability to indoctrinate kids with their beliefs and their agendas. I'm sorry, I choose our beliefs as parents over the beliefs of the ideological left.
Yup. I'm not even a parent.
So it's important that we're standing up for the rights of parents to be involved. We got involved in this most recent election. I was running, obviously, for re-election, but it's not just about me. This is a team effort. You can't do it alone. So we got involved in a lot of school board races across the state. We had 29 conservative school board candidates out of 34 races win election to school board throughout the state. And they're making a big difference. We also understand that our school system should be about educating kids, not indoctrinating kids. And that means we've gone on the offense against toxic ideologies like critical race theory. We have eliminated that in our K through 12 schools. We're not teaching kids to hate our country or to hate each other with your tax dollars. And it's important we're very clear about that, but it's also important to say, okay, that's not what you want out of education, but what are you for? What
he let hold on. He let prisoners, dude, you sound like you used to be one.
Education, and one of the things we've put an emphasis on is getting the Constitution and American civics back in our classroom as a focal point of education. We now actually offer a great course. It's a 50-hour course for teachers where they can take, and if they take it, they get a $3,000 bonus. And it's a course where we have people from places like Hillsdale College, all these experts talking about the foundations of our republic, talking about things like the history of the English Constitution, talking about the religious influences, talking about enlightenment, all these important things that have become a lost art in modern American society.
Right. This is the shit Trump doesn't talk about,
what
dude.
it means to be an American. We need to teach them about our Constitution and our
to
Bill of Rights. We need to teach them why people have been willing to fight and die to preserve our way of life. And so we are doing that in Florida.
Yes. And he has been doing stuff in Florida. I've been watching him. He's changing the laws there.
Part of the way we show the importance of being an American is contrasting that with other systems. And so we're the only state in this country that sets aside one day every year to teach our students about the evils of communist regimes throughout history.
Really?
We're teaching the truth about Marxism and Leninism.
I don't even know what Marxism is or Leninism. And they're teaching that in Florida to the kids? That's amazing.
As a parent, one of the things that I think is challenging, and I'm not saying it's ever been easy to be a parent, it's the most important job you can do, but I look back when I was growing up, and I didn't see as many negative influences or distractions as we have now with our kids. And so my wife and I really believe that parents in Florida and throughout the country should be able to send their kid to school, allow them to watch cartoons, just be kids without having somebody shove an agenda down their throats.
No.
It is...
Yeah, like we used to have it. For the most part. You know, I mean, sure, they were trying to attack us too, probably.
It is wrong for a teacher to tell a second grader that they made...
It wasn't as easy for them to get away with it, though, because social media wasn't co-signing all the bullshit that the mainstream media is putting out. It's all a big circle jerk now.
They may have been born in the wrong body, or that their gender is a choice. Gender ideology has no place in our education system, and we've made sure that it doesn't have a place in Florida. And we have put the kibosh on the use of pronouns. You cannot force a kid to choose pronouns in the state of Florida.
That's awesome. And the thing is, he has a track record. Trump didn't have a track record of already doing stuff for an entire state. Florida's a pretty big deal, dude. You know, so.
And we stand for that, and we stand for parents' rights in education, elimination of gender ideology, because it's the right thing to do. And if that means we have to stand up to a major company like Disney, well, here I stand. I'm not backing down. We run the state of Florida. They do not run the state of Florida. It is wrong to sexualize children. It's wrong to put it in your programming. And it's wrong to try to force that in our schools. And that we will never back down. We also embrace opportunities for our girls and women athletes to compete in athletics with fairness and with integrity. It is wrong to have somebody swim on the men's team for 3 years, then switch to the women's team, and they say you win the national women's championship.
It's fucked up. And
that is wrong. That's not only taking away opportunities from other women athletes,
world records away.
It's also asking us to be complicit in a fraud, because that is not true that you are the women's champion after swimming 3 years on the men's team. So we've got to be grounded in truth. And it's sad that we even have to be discussing some of these things, but we have a responsibility to protect our youth from ideology run amok, including ideology in the medical profession. And so to that end, in the state of Florida, we have banned gender surgeries for minors in the state of Florida. That is mutilation, and it is wrong. And if you do it, you're losing your medical license and you're going to jail.
Damn. that was bold. Like him making it. He probably made some doctors move. They were like,
Nobody has done
"I'm
more
outta
to
here."
embrace
He didn't
parental
care.
choice in education more than the state of Florida. And under my administration, we have more school choice than any place in human history, probably, certainly any place in the United States of America, because we understand how important it is that parents are directing the education of their kids. So we just signed universal education savings accounts for every parent in the state of Florida. The money will follow the student. Obviously, we have programs where we want homeschool parents participating, and we're expanding those efforts as well. At the end of the day, not every school is going to be right for every kid, and parents, understandably, are looking at the education that their kids are getting, and a lot of it is good academics, but a lot of it is good values. A lot of it is making sure their education is grounded in their faith, and they have every right to do that. And in Florida, we've empowered parents to do that regardless of their income levels. And so we're proud of what we've done to be #1 in education freedom. But with this new bill I've signed, you ain't seen nothing yet. Now, we're also leaning in on having solid, dependable higher education. Because I think if you look around the country, a lot of parents look to see some of these universities and they wonder, if I send my kid to school after 18 years of raising them and putting in our values, is it just going to be undone in some indoctrination center in some very left-wing university? And unfortunately, too many universities in this country, the norm has been not to be pursuing truth or not to be giving students a foundation so they can think for themselves, but instead in trying to impose ideology, try to promote conformity of thinking, and even try to foment political activism. This higher education system in Florida is paid for by your tax dollars. They don't have a right to just do whatever they want. They need to be focused on the mission that the people of Florida want for our higher education system. And so we've made very clear that's exactly what we're going to do here in Florida. Now, I also point out, as proud as I am of having affordable colleges and universities, a 4-year brick and ivy education is not the only way you can be successful in this world, and indeed, it's not the best way for many people. We have promoted technical education, vocational education, apprenticeships more than any state in the country. You can get training in some of these really important fields that are in high demand, and you could be making very good money at a very young age. You do that 4 or 5 years, kids get training in electrical, they're working 4 or 5 years, they start their own company and become entrepreneurs. There's a lot of great things you can do, and a 4-year degree is not some magic ticket to success. In fact,
Taylor, how you liking Florida?
the students that get really good vocational training in things like welding and electrical, truck driving, all these things, a lot of times they do much better financially than a student that gets a degree in like zombie studies and goes $100,000 in debt with 6 years, under their belt. So we're very mindful of that, and we have a very clear message that doing a vocational track, you're not any less than somebody that goes to a college. It's all honorable stuff. In some respects, they're better pathways, and so that's our view on that, and we're going to continue to do it. At the same time, we have universities, and we want them to focus on the core mission that universities are supposed to fulfill. And we've taken steps to ensure that. In Florida now, because of our efforts, all tenured professors must undergo review every 5 years and can be let go for poor performance.
$9.25.
We've also used our appointment ability to ensure that the institutions in Florida are going in a direction that reflects the values of this state. We have a small liberal arts college in Sarasota called New College. And I didn't know much about it. Not a lot of people in Florida knew much about it, but it was almost like a commune. It was left of the left. all about ideology, critical race theory, gender theory, all this other stuff. It was supposed to be under Florida statutes, the top honors college in Florida, but it wasn't fulfilling that function. The enrollment was low, test scores had declined, and so we made the decision to say, okay, if this is, and it's in beautiful part of Sarasota, right on the water. I mean, it's a great place, location-wise. So we made the decision, okay, I'm gonna put people on the board there that are gonna right the ship. So I appointed 7 conservative members to the Board of Trustees. They came in, they relieved the president of her duties, they put in a conservative president, they eliminated DEI and CRT at the university, and they reformulated the mission statement to say that New College would be the top publicly funded classical liberal arts college in America, similar to like Hillsdale College and some of these other places. So we're putting money into it, we're all in on this mission, but what you're finding is you've got professors around the country who want to come down and work at New College because they understand how oppressive intellectually the environment is in many of these universities. If you go any way outside of the political correctness or whatever the agenda is, it's like walking on eggshells. You can lose your job by just saying the wrong thing. So people are excited. You're going to see a lot of good news out of that. But at the end of the day, these are our institutions as Floridians, and we have every right to ensure that they're fulfilling missions that we think are in the best interests of the state. And that's why I just signed legislation recently eliminating DEI from all of our public universities. They say it's diversity, equity, and inclusion.
What does that mean?
But in reality, it's used as a veneer to impose ideological conformity on the university. We think DEI better stands for the way it's practiced, discrimination, exclusion, and indoctrination, and that has no part in our public university system.
Is that where they have like their safe space for black people
and put the nix on it?
A minority
and I guarantee you other states
shit?
are going to follow suit.
Is that what he's talking about?
So what we're doing, I think, is taking education into our own hands as Floridians, and you're doing it as parents in the homeschool movement. We're doing it in Tallahassee as governor and our legislature to say education is just something we've got to get right. You cannot have a society in which the education just totally collapses into a lot of these side issues. And I'll tell you, just growing up in Florida,
awesome,
I always took for granted that we lived in a free country. I never thought that there would honestly be a threat to freedom here. But the last 4 or 5 years, if you've lived through that, what people were doing during COVID, what people have been doing with the bureaucracy and the weaponization of agencies like the FBI, who would have thought the FBI would ever go after parents going to school board meetings? And yet that is happening and has happened. And so it's really impressed upon me just how fragile freedom really is. Our founding fathers understood this. When they met in Philadelphia to frame the Constitution in 1787, they brought with them an intense study of the history of every republic that had ever been tried in the history of mankind. Because they wanted to try to derive lessons from history and apply those lessons to the experiment that they were launching here in America. And their study showed them that there was really only one thing that all of these experiments, Republican forms of government, had in common throughout history, and it was this. Every single one of them had failed. And so they believed, and they were right, that it really falls to the United States of America to determine, could people really govern themselves? Could we have a society based on the idea that our rights come from God, not from the government? Could we have a society based on the idea of the rule of law, not the rule of individual men? Or was mankind forever destined to live under various forms of despotism? And they believed this society would answer that question for all of human history. When Dr. Benjamin Franklin was walking out of the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia, he was approached on the street and asked, Dr. Franklin, what have you given us, a republic or a monarchy? His response was, a republic if you can keep it. Franklin and the founders understood you could have the best Constitution in the world, you could have the best Declaration of Independence in the world. These things do not run on autopilot. They require citizens to be dedicated to constitutional principles and be dedicated to the cause of freedom. And that may mean you put on the uniform of your country like I have and go and serve overseas. And many people have given the last full measure of devotion in service to our country. It may just mean that you're engaged in your community as a parent, taking an interest in your kids' education, taking an interest in school board. There's a whole host of ways that you can uphold these core principles. I believe the survival of the American experiment requires a revival of true American principles.
Dude, he's Navy.
You are part of that revival.
What?
You give us hope.
Hold up. Hold up, bro. I didn't even know this about him. DeSantis joined the United States Navy in 2004 and was promoted to lieutenant before serving as legal advisor to SEAL Team 1. Okay. That's impressive.
That our next generation will carry the torch of freedom. You cannot, if you look at the decline in the corruption of education throughout our country, you cannot look at that as any other thing other than posing a mortal threat to the viability of a free society. What you're doing is fighting back against that. What we're doing in Tallahassee, by empowering parents, by providing curriculum transparency, by fighting gender ideology and CRT and elevating civics, we are doing our part to ensure that freedom survives into the future. Florida is doing it right. Florida is taking on the key issues head on. So much easier to just sit there like a potted plant and not want to get involved in these issues because people fire at you when you take a stand. Heck, a lot of these Republicans are out there saying that we should cave to Disney and give them corporate welfare. Not on my watch, that's not happening.
Hey, will he stay governor of Florida if he... No, probably not. That word.
So we're doing it right, and I think you're doing your part as parents and as educators to preserve what the founding father of our country, George Washington, called the sacred fire of liberty. This is a fire that burned in Independence Hall in 1776 when 56 men pledged their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor so that they could establish a new nation conceived in liberty. It's the fire that burned at a cemetery in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, when the nation's first Republican president pledged this nation to a new birth of freedom. It's a fire that burned in the bosoms of merry band of brothers who stormed the beaches of France, defeated Nazi Germany, and saved freedom throughout the world. It's a fire that burned at the foot of the Berlin Wall in the late 1980s when a very resolute president stood in front of that wall and said, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall," and brought communism to an end. This is a responsibility we have to carry that torch. It's not a responsibility we should shirk. It's a responsibility that we should welcome, because if not us, who? And if not now, when? So I'm proud of what you're doing to carry on this sacred fire of liberty. You can always count on the support of the state of Florida to support the rights of parents to choose the proper education for their children. And I don't think you can find a state that's done more in this country in our lifetimes to support education and the greater cause of liberty than we right here in the state of Florida. But I can tell you this, I have only begun to fight. Thank you all. God bless you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So, what I just read, because I guess he could, maybe. Constitution places no restrictions that would prevent state or local office holders from simultaneously holding office in any branch of the federal government but he probably wouldn't do both of them because it'd be like too much to deal with, probably, right? Is that what happened with Reagan? Was Reagan governor when he became president? Simon, dude, chill the fuck out, man. You've already eaten a quarter can. Dude, why are you Dude, those pills make you more hungry or what? I gotta make sure he didn't throw up. Hold on. And anytime he starts doing this kind of shit, I gotta make sure he didn't throw up. So, cause like, it's odd for him to just go crazy, man. Being weird. I don't know though. Probably step down. Trump is nervous, dude. I don't think Trump is gonna win against DeSantis. This dude hasn't even started yet. Really, he hasn't even started to tour around. And can you imagine him? Wait, him and Trump can't actually be on the ballot at the same time, right? Since they're both Republicans, so it's the primaries or whatever. Is that what it is? Picks who's going to be the Republican Party candidate because there can only be one. Is that how this works? Yeah, he's probably going to be Trump, dude. And the thing is, he doesn't even like talk about it that much. That's why I didn't know. He's not like trying to base his thing off of being SEAL Team One's legal advisor as an officer in the Navy. He's not even really. He doesn't even say that. He's just like, yeah, I fought for the country. Leaves it at that. And then I look into it, and it's like some like, dude, he could have been a grunt and say, he could have been washing sinks or something. I don't know, but I look into it, and he was SEAL Team Six's legal advisor as a lieutenant. I mean, that's pretty impressive. That means he went in with a college education, probably, unless he went to Annapolis. I didn't look much into it. I don't know which, but still, he was college educated when he went in, which is even harder to want to do, because with the college education, if he had a college education already in 2004 when he enlisted, there were a lot of job opportunities available for college. Oh, he went to Yale too? What? Hold up. Are his parents? Who are his parents, man? What they doing out here? Simon, you're really throwing me off right now. About to put Simon out. No, not to put bugging me, dude. Can't eat yet. Can't eat yet, okay? Yale degree. Yeah. Because he calls it a scarlet letter in political life. Why? Everybody gives me shit for it. Like he has to. What? He graduated from Harvard and Yale, dude. Not just Yale. What is this? I knew he was a good speaker. I said this like a year ago. I was like, that dude can speak very well, and that's probably why he's going to be president. Speaking is statistically the scariest thing for most people, even scarier than death. It's been asked of people and on a survey, what are you more scared of? What are you most scared of? And their answer, public speaking, was higher than death in statistics. And he can do it very well. And someone that can do that has a very good chance of becoming president, dude. That's just how our minds work, how our world works, dude. He's got a silver tongue. he's probably going to be president. Trump had a silver tongue, but for like uneducated people, sorry, man, he speaks very rudimentary or elementary. He uses small words all the time and repeats himself constantly and uses his hands a lot to talk because he doesn't have the words. But DeSantis, bro, yeah, he can do it. I don't know. I think he's gonna probably gonna do it, man. Because people are fed up with the way shit is nowadays. They're getting tired of it. All this bullshit is happening. I think. I mean, look at Target. By the way, I wanted to show this while we're here. I haven't even watched it yet. I just saw the headline. And I was like, oh yeah, I knew it. I knew that's why they pulled it. And this is Aussie News. This is Aussie News talking about the Target situation. Okay.
Well, as we always say on this show, go woke, go broke. And isn't that the case? Just check out what's happening to Target in the U.S. It has lost $9 billion with a B dollars in market value since causing controversy over its rollout of a Pride collection featuring LGBTQ-friendly clothing for children. Now, to discuss this and lots more, filmmaker and my favorite New Yorker, Ami Horowitz, joins me now. Ami, thanks so much for coming on the U.S. Report, and I'm fascinated by this whole case of Target following on Bud Light. It seems like public protest is really working here with the calls to boycott Target. Are they starting to panic?
Yeah, look, I've always been of the view that we should not use economic boycotts. We have political disagreements. That has always been my view for many, many years. I've changed that view. The other side has weaponized economics. They've weaponized boycotts to push their particular agenda and has been extraordinarily effective. For that reason, I changed my mind a couple of years ago. I think we have to wield the same weapon. I think it's damaging to all of us in the U.S. and the world to do such a thing, but I don't see how there's any kind of choice. Yes, it has worked. It's worked quite effectively, actually. It's worked with Bud Light. It's now worked with Target, or as we say, Target. They've moved this to the back of many of their stores. It's awful that we've come to this position, but this is where we are, and we have to fight fire with fire. And it pains me to say that, but yes, economic boycotts are very, very effective.
There you go. So it wasn't. I didn't think it was either. One of my employees got threatened. So man, people, dude, homeless people are coming in Target, threatening people all over the world. Or Target's international, at least in America. Homeless people. Hey man, hey fuck you, man! I'll come back here, I'll kill you. You know what I'm saying? They're not taking away. I don't know, whatever they get some homeless people. They're not stopping liquor sales. They got liquor bottles in the back of that motherfucker. That's making them homeless people come in there more. I know it is. Because I was thinking about it last time I was in Target. I was like, man, these liquor bottles would be really easy to gank. I bet because like it's such a big store, and I don't know. They're probably washing the bottles, but I thought about it because there was a homeless dude back there next to me, and he was like looking all grimy as shit. I'm thinking, what's he doing here? Is he buying that? How many is he like? Is he buying all of them that he's buying? Is he only buying one and putting two in his pocket? Like, what's he got going on back here? So, I mean, they're not stopping liquor sales, doing that shit. Yeah, so they lost $9 billion. That's why they stopped selling them. They were like, oh, skirt, Budweiser moment. So that happened. Yeah, it's funny. Australian news is talking about it, dude. Because they think it's hilarious, probably. There's probably a lot of other, is this happening anywhere else where they're putting tuck-friendly clothing in the kids section? Whether or not it was actually for kids, if it was in the kids section, I saw a video, though, where she was actually showing, it looked like kid-sized clothing that had tuck-friendly on the tag on another video that I watched. So that's just weird, man. Like I just trying to imagine myself as a little girl getting a bathing suit and one of the tags says tuck friendly on it. That'd be very confusing, right? This little girl like tuck friendly. Mom, what does this mean? Tuck friendly. Tuck what? Then you got to have the conversation with your mom, like your kid about it. If you're a mom or dad or whatever. Oh, talk friendly. Yeah, that. Let's clip that off. I didn't see that. Oh, they probably see while they were shopping though, huh? You would look out. If you didn't look at all the tags though, it's weird. I bet we're the only country doing that weird shit too, dude. And if we are, that's even worse. We're probably looked at like Sodom and Gomorrah. No wonder the Muslims are, you know what I'm saying? Sending people. Bro, they think that we're taking the world down or something with our beliefs out here, and in a way, it seems, I think it kind of does seem like it, man. Because we're so influential to the rest of the world. If we can get most of our people here to agree on something, next thing you know, places like Romania are doing it because they look up to us. And then it like other places. I only say Romania because I've been there and I know that. Like they'll be watching American sports over there, not even knowing English. It's wild. The kids over there wear American clothing and stuff. A lot of the kids though do speak English, but I was watching a University of Memphis tennis match over there at my girlfriend's grandmother's house, and she definitely didn't know English. It was wild seeing that. I was like, "What? She watching?" Being from Memphis, you know, that was wild. It was live. So if we start allowing stuff like that to be normalized here, other countries start normalizing it too eventually. And that's what the Muslims are scared of. Extremist Muslims especially. But all Muslims are, you know? It's just they're the extremist Muslims that are taking the Quran to the fullest, like literal translation of it and thinking that they're supposed to come out here and kill us. You got the other Muslims that are more forgiving and loving that are just like shaking their heads at us, kind of like Americans, man. Alright, Simon ran in here so they could meow at me some more. Come on, man. You ran in here. Did you see the door rush open? Come on. Hey, bro. Oh my gosh. Don't meow at me. You can stay in here, buddy. Oh, it's starting. Started. Putin is dead against all that. Putin? What does that mean? Dead. Let's agree that 7 of y'all didn't hit. Man, I got the haters, bro. I got some haters that like to watch me. Shout out to the haters. I don't even look at the dislike button, dude. I'm scared. How you doing, Mafia Gaming? I thought we were about to have a discussion or something for a second. On first reading your comment, I was like, agree to disagree. Oh, okay, what we got here? Dude. Ready. See if there's any other news that's kind of connected to what we're on right now. If not, I might. Target recognizes its Pride campaign is a possible Bud Light moment. I mean, that's what the other dude said that. That's another Australian. It's the same Australian one, actually. Headline: Biden is gonna be welcoming the basketball teams. These welcome basketball teams to the White House. They don't have anything else better to fucking do today, apparently. Why do basketball teams go to the White House? Why do sports teams go to the White House? Do they not have anything else better to do? Is it just a appeal to sports fans? Oh, that's great. Look, my favorite sports players. He's with the president. He did it. Yeah. Fucking sports fanatics that's something else altogether right there, yo. Oh, that shit's rigged. I did see a good movie recently though. It's sports related. It's called Air Jordan or Air, something like that. One of those. Pretty cool. It's about the making of the Air Jordan. It's got like a Facebooky that movie about Facebook. Any kind of movie, you know. There's also one about like Apple with Steve Jobs. It's like one of those movies, pretty much. They're all kind of the same. People creating something, but it's got a lot of banging actors in it, dude. A lot of big names are in it. I forget now, but it's got a lot. It's free right now on Amazon Prime. Check it out. I dug it, man, because I grew up wearing Jordans, so really, really cool story about how they were able to land Jordan as their dude, because originally he wanted to go with Adidas, dude, which is stationed in Germany. Converse wanted him to. They put all or nothing. They did put everything on Jordan and ended up winning him. It's a really cool story. I'm fucking serious. You just should watch it, man. I think you'll enjoy it. It's a good feeling, happy movie. But he's changed the industry. Jordan was the first sports athlete. His mom was like, he wants a cut of every shoe. He was the first athlete to ever do that. And they were like, that's not how we do things. That's not how it's done. He's like, well, that's how it's going to be done with my son. He makes like $500 million a year off of shoe sales because he did that. Now, currently, it's crazy. Good for fucking Jordan. I'm not a fan of sports, but I'm a fan of Michael Jordan, dude. I read his book when I was a kid. I did a story, like a book report on it when I was in elementary school, and yup. But sports in general, kind of jaded on them. I got first cut of basketball, 8th grade. This fucking basketball coach was my homeroom teacher, my science teacher too. My favorite teacher ever in all of teachers was this guy. And he cut me. I wasn't good at doing left-handed layups. I don't know why he cut me, dude, actually. First cut too. I was the first, like, I didn't get to come back again. The first day I was so embarrassed, dude. I even practiced beforehand. Man. Dude, they talked about Charles Barkley. They were like, should we try to get Charles Barkley? It was near the beginning of the movie. And they're like, nah, people don't like to see him on TV. He's always fighting or something. Like, I think it was kind of a joke of saying that. Maybe they actually did, but everybody knows. Everybody likes seeing Charles Barkley on TV. He was one of the most fun people to watch back then. I think it was a little different, man. Things really changed with social media, with everything, including sports. All the fantasy football league things started popping up like crazy, and internet gambling. Internet sports gambling is pretty big, you know. I think it's more rigged now than it used to be, because of there being so much money at stake, and there's money laundering being done. Millionaires, billionaires, they play with the sports. They just take our money and waste it gambling. A lot of rich people, dude. You know what I mean? Like, they pay very little in taxes. They find ways, like Trump did, to not pay any taxes. And they gamble. This motherfucker owns a casino. You think he doesn't gamble? Can you imagine not gambling and you own the Caesar's Palace? It still is, right? I gotta look into it. Wait. Oh, wait. Wait a second. Who the fuck? Does he? I thought he owned a casino, dude. Did he? I thought the owners of Caesar's Casino, though, had other ideas. Wait, so did he at one point own it? Oh, Trump Plaza, but it was a casino. Oh, Atlantic City. My bad. I thought he owned fucking Caesar's Palace for a long time. But Trump Hotels and Casino Resorts is one of the largest casino entertainment companies in the United States. So it might even be bigger than Caesar's Palace, and that, but it does say Caesar's Palace owns like 40 something, 57 properties owned by Caesar's Entertainment. So he has casinos. All his hotels are casinos, dude. Most of them. I was just working. He definitely gambles. How can you do that and not gamble? He's probably like going to the super high roller table. You do that though? I don't know. He's pretty much just taking money from gamblers. He might not actually gamble because he knows that. Does he? We need to know. I need to know. Do casino owners gamble? Michael Lawton, our contact at Gaming Control Board, tells us that casino owners, directors, and officers are forbidden. Well, there you go. From playing table games and slots, and from placing sports bets at their own property or any affiliated one. So he's not doing it at his casino, but he could be going to other ones. Well, that makes it even more interesting because he could like make a deal with another casino and be like, "Hey, I'll let you win if you let me win." Yeah, go over to Fred's table on Saturday night. Oh, okay. Like, you know what I mean? He tells you what table to go to. You tell him what table to go to, and you both win at each other's casinos. They could do some crooked shit like that, dude. Any place where there is a lot of money to be made, there's an extreme possibility of cheating if it can be done. I learned that with crypto, dude. Every chance they get, they will fucking take you, dude. They figure it out, your money's gone. Welcome to the morning show. Hey, should I take my bench out of the closet, move that fan out of the way, and put my weight bench here? I can move this whole thing. I can have a bench back here and start like pumping. So either that or my dip bar I can put in the corner. It's in the other room. We're doing dips in here. I already moved the keyboard out since it's just collecting dust. Boxed it up, put it in the closet. I still got it though. Right there. I didn't pawn it. I'm not pawning my shit. Dude, back in the day, though, I remember I used to pawn my shit. I had a guitar, and I didn't pawn it. I didn't lose it by pawning. I lost it by moving, and somebody ended up getting it because I left it there. I was gonna go back and get it, man. Man, I wish I would have lost that guitar though. Simon is like these. One, I've switched over to a non-compounded heart med. And he's much more hungry after I gave it to him. Yo. Alright. Let's see. You can't eat again till 9:25. Yep. Yep. Then diuretic at noon, or any time from there to noon. I can give him the diuretic. Thinking about getting the allergy med today, dude. I'm thinking I'm gonna start to give him the allergy med every day because like he keeps licking everywhere and hair's not growing back. Do it. Do it. Alright, let me do the thing. How many people are rewinding the DeSantis thing and watching it? I should have put y'all's chat in that blank spot. Whatever. I'll try to remember to do that from now on. Whenever I don't have it their chat to go off of on the right there, and I fill it in, I'm going to superimpose or overlay your chat over there so it's bigger. I can make it bigger or easily seen on the replay. So it's more easily seen on the replay. Is Ron trying to split? Did you miss it? Yeah, you got to rewind it, bro. Sorry, I interrupted a couple times. But I had thoughts on the matter. Alright, look, I'm gonna clip them finally, okay? Look at this thing. I had good nails, though. If I were a woman, dude, look at them things. Look at them things. Women, you know what I'm saying? I've had so many compliments from my fingernails from women. My mom used to push my cuticles back when I was a kid. I don't know if that's what helped me have good nails, but they're super strong, dude, and good shape. They don't chip easily, you know. Women would love my nails. They're so strong. What? See, you hear that? Do you hear that? Dude. Emmett Taylor's on. I was gonna ask him something. Are you here, Taylor? I should have put Fleet Week in the title yesterday so you'd have popped in. Boom. I could sell these to people that can't grow nails, you know? Like the people that buy the wigs. I would have to grow them longer though, huh? Then they could have the authentic last longer. You know, that's an idea. We could start selling those. I could start having people send me their fingernail clippings, but they have to be like an inch long for them to be viable. Donate your fingernails for the unfortunate, the less fortunate. You could have the Sarah McLaughlin song playing with a puppy, a little kid holding it, looking all dirty and hungry. In the arms of an angel. I don't know the rest. Da, 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 Do you know someone who's missing their fingernails? How we do too. Here's little Jessica. She's been missing her fingernails. She was 3. You can help. Just send in your fingernails. That would be so disgusting. They would definitely have to be washed before sending them in. With alcohol. Possibly bleach. I grossed out at least one person right now. Alright, so what we learned so far that I didn't know about DeSantis is he was like SEAL Team 1's legal advisor in the Navy. 2004 is when he joined. DeSantis. He's been governor since 2019. Born in 78. Whoa, that's a trip. Harvard and Yale. He was in Guantanamo, Iraq. Special Assistant U.S. Attorney at the U.S. Attorney's Office until his honorable discharge. Also, he was that while he was in the Navy. Special Assistant. An Assistant United States Attorney is an official career civil service position in the U.S. Department of Justice composed of lawyers working under the U.S. Attorney of each U.S. federal judicial district. They represent the federal government of the United States. And so, see, dude, Trump doesn't know even what this is, probably. You know what I mean? Like, Trump doesn't know much about the government. He just kind of like became president. This guy actually knows how to change laws because he's been a lawyer for a while. 2010, honorable discharge. 2012 Congress. 2014, 2016. Founding member of the Freedom Caucus. Ally of Donald Trump. Time. Thank you. 15 years. Active service. Hey Tom Mueller of the coin smoke. People Florida vote Trump. Yeah, but Florida's only one state. And this guy hasn't even started touring yet. And can you imagine him debating Trump on some shit? Trump's definitely gonna lose against him in a debate. He's probably taken debate multiple times in college, Yale and Harvard. Oh, he got a BA and he graduated magna cum laude. Trump doesn't have a chance fucking going up against this guy in a toe-to-toe debate. Done. He doesn't want to do that. He'll need somebody to hold his hand the whole time with a fucking thing in his ear, and it'll take him too long to respond because he won't understand the response. Harvard cum laude at Harvard 2005. What is this? What's a Juris Doctor? A Doctor of Jurisprudence. Entry, graduate entry, professional degree in law. They need a standard degree obtained the practice law. Oh, okay. Juris Doctor. Put the cum on his ass, bro. Come on, dog. He hasn't even put pictures like this up trying to sell himself. Wait till he does. He's gonna get the military vote. He'll get the military vote, dude. I bet he does. We haven't had a military president in a while, and a lot of military families have wanted to see it happen. Because we haven't had it, dude. We haven't had the chance for it. He hasn't even. Can you imagine? He puts this on his commercials. Well, Bobsky. He might win Florida, dude, because Florida's full of hillbillies. Florida's full of southern hillbillies from all over the South. They moved to Florida because it's like California, but it's for hillbillies. That's the best way of putting it. That's the best way I can put it. He's not a hillbilly though, man. I think he got stationed there. He wasn't even born there, right? He got stationed there and then just ended up staying. Where was he born at? Where was he born? Oh, he was born there. Oh shit. Well, they're not all hillbillies. He doesn't seem like a hillbilly. He can't be a hillbilly, man. Dunedin, most of his childhood. They're probably not hillbillies in Dunedin, dude. Scottish Gaelic name. Several beaches. Dunedin, I'm gonna look up its makeup. Demographics. Dunedin City. Is that what it was? I guess same thing. What are we looking like? Ooh, 54% women. Gotta love that. 92% white, 2.5% black, 1.6% Asian, Hispanic. Lots of veterans there. 3,335. I mean, geez, that's 10%. That's like nearly 10% of their population is veterans. That's insane. Wow. Foreign-born persons. 8.4% of them are foreign-born. Also interesting. Yeah, but I wonder if it was like that for him growing up. Okay, houses aren't that expensive really out there. $250K. According to 2021 stats. Stop licking yourself, bro. That's where he grew up. Yeesh. Interesting. I gotta get off here. Simon will stop licking himself, and I gotta take care of stuff. That story's over now anyway. So thanks for joining. It's time to go. Bye. Love y'all. See you later.